Each night, millions of individuals sleep in tents across national parks and forests, right in the heart of grizzly bear territory, wolf country, and mountain lion ranges, yet almost none of them ever get eaten. That seems obvious until you actually think about it. You are a 180-pound bag of meat, completely unconscious, lying on the ground, making noises, unable to run away. You represent, by every biological definition, the ideal prey animal. So why doesn't anything eat you? Let's begin with what predators are actually doing at night. Most large predators, wolves, mountain lions, leopards, hyenas, are highly active between dusk and dawn. That is when they hunt. That is when they move. That is when they are hungry and searching for something to kill. And they absolutely know you are there. A grizzly bear can smell you from 20 meters away. A wolf can hear your heartbeat from over a mile in optimal conditions. A mountain lion could be resting 30 feet from your tent right now, and you would have zero clue. They are not missing you. They are actively choosing to leave you alone. The question is, why? Predators are not built to be brave. They are built to survive. And out in the wild, those are two profoundly different things. A wolf taking unnecessary risks does not live long enough to pass on its genes. A lion charging into something it doesn't understand won't eat tomorrow. Every large predator alive today descends from animals that were extremely cautious. And humans feel incredibly wrong to them. We do not move like prey. We do not smell like prey. We do not sound like prey. A deer freezes when sensing danger. A rabbit bolts. Every prey animal on Earth has a predictable reaction to a threat. Predators have learned to read those reactions over millions of years of evolution. You don't display any of those responses. You sleep completely still for hours on end. You breathe at a slow, steady pace. You make no attempt to flee. You radiate heat. You carry strange scents, synthetic fabrics, food, chemicals, fire. To a predator encountering a human for the very first time, nothing about you computes. And animals are deeply, instinctively wary of things that do not compute. There is a concept in animal behavior known as neophobia. It is the fear of the unfamiliar. Most large predators possess it, and they have it for a very solid reason. In the wild, the things you do not recognize are the things most likely to kill you. A new smell, a new sound, a new shape in the dark that doesn't match anything stored in your memory. The smart move is to avoid it entirely. Humans trigger neophobia hard. We carry fire, we carry metal, we carry synthetic materials that have never existed in nature. Even our sweat is chemically unusual compared to other mammals, packed with compounds from the food we consume, the products we use, the environments we inhabit. To a wolf or a bear, a sleeping human in a tent doesn't register as food. It registers as a threat they haven't figured out yet. But here is what really locks it in. Humans have been killing large predators for an extremely long time, hundreds of thousands of years. We've been hunting wolves, lions, bears, and big cats since well before we had written language. We have driven multiple apex predators completely to extinction. The dire wolf, the cave lion, the American cheetah, gone largely because of us. The predators that are still here learned, generation by generation, that humans are dangerous. Not merely physically, but unpredictably dangerous. A sleeping deer is still a deer. A sleeping human could hold a spear in its hand. There is solid evidence of this in predator behavior across every single continent. In areas where large predators have had consistent human contact over generations, they give humans a wide berth. In areas where animals have had no human contact whatsoever, they are actually more curious and much less afraid. The fear must be learned. And most populations of large predators have had thousands of years to learn it. So what about the attacks that actually do happen? Because they do occur. People get attacked by mountain lions on trails. Campers get mauled by bears. Tourists get too close to wild animals and pay the ultimate price. Almost none of those attacks occur while the person is asleep. When they do, it is almost always connected to one of three things. Food. A bear that has learned to associate campsites with food stops viewing humans as a threat and starts viewing them as a source. That is when things go terribly wrong. It is not predatory behavior. It is opportunistic behavior that breaks down the typical fear response. A fed bear is genuinely a very dangerous bear, not because it suddenly got brave, but because the equation shifted. Desperation. A starving predator, injured and unable to hunt normally, is a predator that might override its instincts out of sheer necessity. The famous man-eating lions of Tsavo, the ones that killed dozens of railway workers in Kenya back in 1898, were both discovered to have severe dental damage that made hunting their usual prey nearly impossible. Surprise! A human who accidentally corners an animal or stumbles upon a mother with cubs or reaches into a space where something is hiding gets attacked not as prey, but rather as a threat. The animal is not hunting, it is defending itself. Notice what is not on that list. A predator that calmly decided to attack a sleeping, non-threatening human for food. That practically never happens. And when researchers dig into the rare instances where it does, there is almost always a breakdown in the normal conditions. The animal is sick, injured, food-conditioned, or had something go deeply awry. There is one more piece to this that most people haven't heard. Wolves and other large social predators are deeply sensitive to group dynamics. They are continuously reading the social structure of whatever they are looking at. When they observe a group of animals, they are calculating hierarchy. Who is dominant? Who is vulnerable? Researchers studying wolf behavior have noted something quite strange. When wolves encounter sleeping humans in the wild, they frequently circle without approaching. They observe from a safe distance. They seem to be attempting to figure out what the social structure actually is. And a sleeping human sends confusing signals. No submission, no dominance display, no body language at all. Just a calm, completely unresponsive creature that doesn't seem to even register the wolf's presence. That confusion provides protection. There is a deeper truth sitting underneath all of this. We have spent so much of human history being afraid of the dark, afraid of what's out there. Building fires, erecting walls, sleeping in groups for our own protection. And for most of our history, that fear made complete sense. Early humans were genuinely very vulnerable. We were smaller, slower, and far more exposed than we are today. But somewhere along the way, the balance shifted. We became so widespread, so consistently dangerous, so deeply woven into the landscape across every continent that large predators adapted around us. The populations that didn't learn to avoid humans got hunted out completely. The ones that did survived. The wilderness that feels so threatening when you are lying in a tent in the dark isn't looking at you the way you are looking at it. The wolf circling your campfire isn't deciding whether to attack. It is deciding whether you are something it wants to risk getting anywhere near. And almost every single time it decides you are just not worth it. And the data backs this up in a way that should genuinely surprise you. The National Park Service records every significant wildlife encounter in U.S. parks. Millions of people camp in bear and mountain lion territory every single year. The number of fatal predator attacks on sleeping campers across all recorded national park history is effectively zero. You are statistically far more likely to be struck by lightning inside the park than to be attacked by a predator while you sleep in it. More likely to get injured just driving to the trailhead. The fear and the reality are so far apart. It is almost hard to believe until you understand everything that is working in your favor the moment you close your eyes. So, the next time you are lying awake in a tent, listening to something moving through the trees outside, trying to decide if you should be afraid. Here is what's actually happening. Whatever is out there knows you are there. It smelled you hours ago. It heard you settle in. It has been aware of your breathing the entire time, and it is actively choosing to keep its distance. Not because it cannot reach you, but because somewhere in the deep wiring of every large predator still alive on this planet, there is a lesson that has been passed down through thousands of generations. Humans are not prey. Humans are something else entirely. Sleep well.